Hi guys, and welcome to the Burnley vs Sunderland match preview. So Sunderland do have the incredibly difficult challenge of going to Turf Moor on Friday night under the lights, against a team that are absolutely running away with the league. Let's not beat around the bush to say they're absolutely running away with the league. They've been absolutely outstanding all season long and thoroughly deserve to win this league. But what can Sunderland offer to try and be a bit of a thorn in their side? We do have our own threats, of course we do. We do have to contend with a lot of injuries at the moment, particularly at the back with Bollard, it looks like he's going to be out. I could be wrong. I haven't seen the pre-match press conference as of yet, as I'm recording this. But of course, he did pick up a niggle for Northern Ireland the other night. He had to come off. And he said that he's going to look to have a scan, so I can't see him playing Friday. I could be wrong though, but I am going to approach this preview as if Bollard will not be playing. So of course we have Bollard at the back who's out, Alessi who's out, Huggins who's still out, Sirkin who we don't know whether he's going to be back from concussion. I'm also going to approach this preview as if Sirkin isn't going to be starting as well. So it's going to be incredibly difficult to try and contend with, Burnley's attacking threat, which is what I was going to get on. Teller, who's been absolutely outstanding this season, who I think he's got 17 goals or so. You've got Rory, who's really come into his own, nearly 30 caps. I think he's got plenty of goals from midfield as well. Plenty of attacking ability and dangerous ability there, so we need to be really on top of it. With Burnley unbeaten at home this season, they've only lost 2 games this season, both away from home. The last defeat coming in November, I believe, in the league anyway. So I can't see. I could easily say, they've run away with the league. They might, take the foot off the pedal a little bit. I can't see that happening whatsoever, particularly under Vincent Kompany. We know what he's like, or what he was like as a player, as a captain and a leader. He's a winner. He's an absolute born winner, that man. And I can't see him allowing this Burnley side to take their foot off the gas at all whatsoever. But for us, we've come off the back of we drew with Luton, defeat against Sheffield United, a win against Norwich. Those 3 games I didn't expect, particularly with the run of form we're going into those games. I didn't expect anything. Personally, I didn't expect absolutely anything. So to get 4 from 9 against teams that you expect to be thereabouts, it's not a bad return, and it doesn't get any easier now against what I believe, or who I believe are going to be the champions come the end of the season. In Burnley, I watched them as well against Manchester City in the Cup not so long ago. And although they did get battered in terms of a scoreline, I think it was at 6-0 to City. I can't remember now, but I think that scoreline sort of flattered City a little bit. It was just a shame that everything they touched turned to gold. But defensively for a long period, they looked really solid. Burnley, and going forward, if it weren't for a lack of, what's the word now? I think there was just a couple of chances, 2 or 3 chances they did make, and they carved out very, very well against Manchester City in that first half against them. If it weren't for a lack of sort of better choice making, that game could have been turned on its head, because there were a couple of times, 2 or 3 times, when they really got opportunities to work to the edge of the box, or there'd be a man in the middle screaming to square it, and it would have been a tap in, and his shot got overly excited. It could have been a totally different story, but Burnley they didn't look bad at all against Manchester City. Barely any Premier League teams managed to get a foot on the ball against City, let alone the Championship side in Burnley. So I watched them and I was very, very impressed. But of course, once City start getting their momentum, they steamroll most teams, let alone a Championship side, as I say. It's going to be an incredibly difficult task, and I'm just giving them as much respect as possible. I'm not going into this game saying I accept defeat. Do I expect a defeat? I kind of do, but we do have our own threats despite the catalogue of injuries we have got. So I'm going to give you my preferred 11, my sort of wanted 11 for this game. And again, I've done this preferred starting 11 under the assumption that Bollard won't be playing, Sirkin won't be playing either, and I'm also going to drop Gelhardt. I get it, he's our only sort of striker, but I've said before, as much as there's been a clip going around social media from Gelhardt, in training, he's got an overhead kick, which is great, when people said, oh yeah, stick him in the team, he's going to be class now. I scored a scorpion kick in 5-a-side once, that don't mean I can play for Man City. Do you know what I mean? This isn't me giving the lad shit, but it's a completely different situation when it comes to a match day squad, and I just think he needs to be dropped because so much pressure's been put on the lad, and at times it does feel like we've got 10 men on the pitch when he's up there, because he's not even being a bit of a busybody or making it difficult for the back line of the opposition. He's very easy to play against. Very, very easy to play against when he's up there on his own. And again, it's not his fault, it's not his position, but he's just not been good enough. So this is the starting 11 I would go for. It's incredibly makeshift. It's a different formation, a different style. But given the injuries, I just can't find another system. So this is what I am going with as of right now. So I've gone for Patterson in goal, and I've done a sort of back five with O'Nien, Bart and Hume as the sort of back three, and then Clark and Gooch as the wing backs, with Mishu and Neil in the middle, Roberts on one side, Pritchard on the other, with Ahmad up top. Now that top three, they all can just interchange as it goes. Ahmad and Roberts, I know they do like to hug that right-hand side, and you can get Gooch coming up with them as well, which would help. On the left-hand side, I think Clark does suit the left wing-back position. He's improved, should I say, defensively in terms of tracking back. Yes, I think his positioning might be a little bit all over the place, but we don't have any other option. If we had Sirkin in this team, I would just go for Sirkin at left back, O'Nien and Bart in the middle, and Hume at right back, and we can push Gooch up there as well. That is probably what I would have gone with. And then maybe had sort of Ahmad, Roberts and Gooch as a top three with Pritchard in behind. That might be what I would have gone for. But this is me, again, under the assumption that we do have this list of injuries continuing. So that is probably the team I would go with. It'll be hard. It will be very, very hard. Maybe even if Pritchard dropped into a three in the middle and have Ahmad and Roberts up top. I don't know, because I do feel that they will dominate us in the middle of the park. But Mishu, he's got a bit of tenacity about him. Neil just signed a new contract, which I'm really, really pleased about. Hopefully he can give us a good display. So as I say, Pritchard, that isn't going to be a stuck thing, a left wing type situation. That isn't what I'm really getting at there. It's just those three floating around the top, Pritchard, Ahmad and Roberts. And I think Pritchard and Clark anyway, regardless, Pritchard doesn't have the pace, but his link-up play and his forward thinking of how he wants to pass through the lines, because no one else seems to want to do that in our team. He just wants to go out wide and mess around with it. Pritchard likes to, he tries to find that ball in behind. So I would like to see this team start. I know it's different, but let me know in the comments down below what you would go with. And do you like the look of this? I think it's just the best I could just shove together given the circumstances. But let me know, again, as I say, in the comments down below how you feel and who you would go with for Friday night's game. Now for my score predictions. I know it comes across like I've got a real defeatist attitude, but I think I'm just being more of a realist than a defeatist. I think we have players in there, regardless of injuries, I think we have players in there to cause Burnley problems, but I just think they have much more of a threat going forward, and with our defensive issues at the moment, I think they would absolutely take advantage. And I'm going to go for a Burnley 3-1 win. I think Teller is going to get a couple, and Rory will get one as well. As for us, I think Diallo will get us just simple consolation, and that'll be it for us. Unfortunately as well, Jewison Bennett has been pictured in a sling. He's obviously on international duty with Costa Rica, so that's another player that's gone down. I would have liked to see Bennett play. He looked decent when he come on last time out. Direct, quick, and that's just another option that's gone off the table. Speaking of tables, our injury table is absolutely frigging ridiculous. I don't know how they can fit any more players on it. But yeah, I'm going to go for a 3-1 Burnley win. I think they're just far too good, in my opinion. I will be going to the game Friday night, Burnley. I'm looking forward to that game. I'm looking forward to the game. It'll be a good test for the players, see where we are. It probably isn't going to be a totally accurate representation of where we are, given the injuries, as I say. I think a full-strength squad could give Burnley a hell of an issue. And we've seen it earlier on in the season, but then we just sort of collapsed in the second half. But sadly, it is going to be a makeshift squad, and I think we're going to struggle. But again, let me know in the comments down below what score you think it's going to be, what lineup you go with, what you think of my lineup, and all that kind of stuff. But if you have enjoyed, hit the like button for me. It'll be massively, massively appreciated. And subscribe to the channel if you're not already to become a fully fledged member of the Sarny Army. But for now, take care and stay jamming.